Hi, I'm Jason Klamm. I'm the host of the Comedy on Vinyl podcast, and for all of 2017, I'm listening to a comedy album a day and talking about them here. If you haven't heard these before or watched these before, go to youtube.com/comedy on vinyl and subscribe. Also, subscribe to the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. If you like this, you'll definitely enjoy the podcast. So I have a guest coming on sometime next week, which you probably won't then hear for another 6 weeks or so. There are 3 albums in my collection that they're interested in, so I'm going to let them listen to them. And I'm kind of excited that they're picking albums they've never heard before. Sometimes it happens. People are like, well, I don't know. I want to come back on the show, but I don't know that I have anything to talk about off the top of my head. And I say, well, look at my collection. And ever since we did the episode with Joseph Scrimshaw about the Maury Amsterdam album, I've been super excited to get more people to listen to stuff they haven't heard before. And obviously, right now, I'm in the groove. Oh God, I can't believe I just said that. I'm in the pattern right now of getting, of listening to a comedy album a day, mostly. I'm a little behind still, but I'm still banging these out. And one of the ones he picked is this, Foster Brooks Roasts. And my buddy Jeremy suggested that I look this up. Jeremy Guskin, who's been on the show before. You've seen him on TV, all kinds of stuff. He suggested I listen to this a long time ago, and so it was always in the back of my head I should maybe pick that album up finally. And I did. That was probably 2 years ago that I bought this, possibly longer, and I'm just getting around to listening to it. And the great thing about this is the character work. It's not the jokes. The jokes are fine, and actually, what's funny is people tend to think, oh, well, the roasts we have now, they're filthy compared to how they were then. You should listen to some of the roasts that you can't even get on disc. They're not just filthy, they're terrible in some cases, like just not even good jokes necessarily, but at least all these are properly formatted, and actually, for the most part, not all that offensive, which is like, whatever, be offensive. I'm going to listen to it if it's offensive or not, but I actually enjoyed it because it was mostly well thought out. Actually, I'm going to correct that. They're okay jokes. When I say well thought out, some of them are standard issue jokes. They're jokes you've heard before. Some of them are even formatted the way you've heard before. What sells these is Foster Brooks' drunk character. And to do it on a show with a famously either drunk or fake drunk Dean Martin, to upstage him with your great drunk character, that's fantastic. I mean, Dean Martin famously, at least fake drunk, if not actually drunk. Foster Brooks has this character who's just kind of, if it wouldn't be out of place in an indie movie today, where you would just be so sad and sorry for this character because it's actually really well portrayed, even if he finds these, he's got a bag of tricks that he uses, like all comedians do, but like a well he keeps going back to, including the kind of the Porky Pig thing that sometimes people do is not just Porky Pig, but where you try and say the word again, and then say a synonym as the third joke. But he does it with such believability that it's really charming, even when he's being a little filthy. It's not all that filthy, really, but it's, they're roasts. I mean, but they're great and a lot of fun to listen to. I don't know, honestly, if this is the only Foster Brooks album. Should have looked that up. But that said, this is definitely one to listen to. He roasts Hubert Humphrey, Joe Namath, Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, Dean Martin, Johnny Carson, Ralph Nader, and Don Rickles. Now, I was particularly interested in Hubert Humphrey because I'm interested in the vice presidency. And that one's, I mean, they're all good, but particularly I enjoyed Hubert Humphrey. There's one really dumb joke where he says that Humphrey thought that Senator Goldwater was a urologist, and a couple other really dumb jokes like that. I mean, that's the kind of level of stuff you're getting. And this is stuff that I feel like if I was listening to a hack comic doing, I wouldn't laugh because they're a hack, but the character sells it for me, and it's just so much fun. So this is what the album looks like. I mean, I got the thing for $4 at Atomic Records here in Burbank, and it's fun. It's very funny. It goes by pretty quickly, although, you might get, maybe a modern audience would get a little, it's the same thing every time, including like, it's almost the pattern of the way he does the roast is very similar. So you might get a little bored with that. I didn't necessarily, but that's because, again, at least on a first time listen, it's fun to discover this. So, yeah, definitely worth listening to. I don't know what the guest is going to choose, but at some point we'll get around to these. And honestly, if you're watching this and there's one of these you want me to do a full episode of, I will consider it if enough people tell me they want to hear me do a full episode, and I'll bring somebody in There are people who who want to come back, yet we don't have an album set up yet. We're trying to get James Urbaniak back already. Joseph Scrimshaw I'd like to have back on the podcast. Anybody, I would love to have Harry Shearer. You want to come back on the show, Harry? Want to talk about Foster Brooks? I don't care. But that is about it. So if you would, subscribe here on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes. If you would give us a review. Give us a high rating. That would be fantastic. That really helps people find this show. I've been doing it now for 6+ years, and it's a thing that people still need to discover. So check it out. You can go to stolendress.com for my other podcasts, and that is about it. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a good thing.